Hi guys, how are you? I'm good. This is Jarso's lectures. Today by this video, I come with one very important in the one topic which you are waiting for. It is about uniform resource locator or the URL, which we can say. Before proceeding to my lectures, if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, to like my video, and to share the videos and the channel link with your friends. And when I proceed to my lectures, this is, as I have already told you, uniform resource locator. Uniform resource locator, or which we can say URL. It is one very important topics in web technologies. What we may face within our daily lives, in order to search the resources from the web, in order to search the resource from the servers we use, but we may don't know, we may not clear about it. So by this video, I make this one clear, how to go the resource, how we can search, how we can find the resource from the web. This is the point. Actually, every document on the web has a unique address. This means, as we can have an ID within Kebele, within Warada, within Zone, the resource within the web, the resource within the World Wide Web has its own unique IP address for purpose of identity, in order to be uniquely identified. In order to be uniquely identified, they also have unique ID in the same way that we can have an ID. Now, as human being, every person has his or her own names. The name is for the purpose of identifying. But since there can be the chances of two or more person that can have the same name, we use an ID within the Kebele, within the zone, within the district, within the region, within the country, and globally as the world. Internationally, we can have ID, unique ID. Even within the university, within the colleges, students have their own IDs in order to be uniquely identified. Now, the same is true here also. URL is in order to uniquely identify the resource on the web. The purpose why we use URL or uniform resource locator is to identify the resource on the web. And here, several HTML and XHTML tags include these URL attributes. They include this URL as values of attributes. For example, I have done videos about how to include video element in HTML, how to include image elements within web pages. You can check for it. This URL is as a values of some attribute, mostly the source attribute, values of the source attributes, in order to uniquely identify that resources, either from your local storage or either from the web. So general, actually, why we use the what is URL is, it is a standards for uniform resource locator, and the purpose why we use the URL is for purposes of identification, for purposes of identifying the resource on the web. That resource can be image, can be video, can be audio. Look here, they use URL attribute value, including hyperlinks as images and for different uh, forms. So this is why we use the URL for purpose of identity, for identifying each and every resource uniquely. As why we use an ID, as why we use social security number within the society, or as why we use the passport within international or within the globally why we use the passport is for uniquely identifying those body for uniquely identifying us. This is the purpose of using social security number or ID or the passport is. Now, for example, in order to call somebody or in order to find somebody, if those body, if his or her is closer to us, we can use his or her own name. If they are not closer to us or if they are far apart from us, we can contact them by different contact addresses. Each of them have unique contact addresses. For example, phone number, Gmail address, Facebook account. Many unique identifiers are there that uniquely identify or that make somebody unique from the others. So URL is the unique identifiers of resources of the webs. Resources of the webs. How we can uniquely identify one resource from the others within the web. And the URL elements are there. URL has a parties. Generally, for example, look, this one is the URL. HTTP, then double slash World Wide Web, then tutorialpolit.com, then index.html. This is now the URL. This URL comes from the elements, comes from the parties. Different parties are there that come together and form URL. And look here, each of those parts offers information to the web, to the web browsers to help finding the page. Or each of which offers information to the web browser how to define that specific resource, how to find that specific image, how to find that specific video or audio. This is the point. Now, generally, as the common parties, uh, this URL comes from major three parties. Those three parties are here: the scheme, the host address, and the file path. The scheme, let me repeat again: the scheme, the host address, and the file path. The file path. Now look here, HTTP. This is the schemes. This HTTP is the schemes, and here till to double slash it is schemes. www.tutorialpoint.com is uh, host address or the server name, and here this is the file path. This is the file path. Now let us see each of the part one by one. The first one is the scheme. The scheme, mostly it is the protocol. The protocol is the set of rules that guide communications on the network. It guides communication on the networks. Different protocols are there, different schemes are there, but this HTTP is most common. For example, to communicate over the internet is it is the common schemes. Now, as general, why the purpose of why we use the scheme is that the scheme identifies the types of protocol and the URL you are linking to, and also the most common point is that how the resource should be retrieved, how the resource should be communicated. Either it is, for example, for security purpose, we can encrypt our data for communication. Some of the schemes, some of the protocols encrypts our data. Some may communicate the data without any encryptions. So these schemes or the protocol specifies how the resource on the web can be retrieved, can be communicated over the internet. This is the point. Um and for this HTTP or this hypertext transfer protocol is the most commonly used schemes, and which is used by the most browsers. Most browsers uses these hypertext transfer protocols or the HTTP to pass information or to communicate, to transmit information over the internet. But the schemes are not only HTTP. HTTPS is there, file is there, and the other schemes are there. But the way in which data can be retrieved is different when we use different scheme, when we use different protocols. Now HTTPS is similar to HTTP, but except it uses SSL encryption or secure socket layer encryptions. It encrypts data. For example, when we use HTTPS, the data to be communicated over the internet in between server and the client is encrypted. Encrypted when we use HTTPS. So the way in which they retrieve the data is different for HTTPS, for HTTP, for files, and for the others. Files, for example, for purpose of to read file from the local disk. So the purpose of scheme part is to specify how the data can be retrieved. It specifies how the data can be retrieved. The other part is the host address parts or the server name. We can say the host address or the server from where we are accessing the resources, with which server, with which host we are communicating with, in order to specify this one. Look here, the host addresses where the website can be found, where the resource is found. If, for example, you are accessing the image, where image is found. If we are accessing the web page, where that web page is found, or with which machine, the names of the machine actually. The host address means the names of the server, the names of the machine which we are accessing the resource from. And the most of the time, this host address can be IP address, can be IP address, can be domain naming system. I will do another video for what is domain naming system. It is way of mapping the IP address into name. When we say domain name, for the detail I will do another video. Anyways, this host address can be what can be IP address. It is the name. So actually host address means the host which holds the information in which we are accessing. It can be IP address. It is the sets of four numbers in between zeros and the not 258 56 in between zeros and the 256, but 256 is not included up to 255. The number in between zeros and the 256. This is what IP address means. For IP address, I will do also another video. For what is IP address and for what is the domain naming system, I will do another video. Anyways, host address is the part, the URL part, which is host address is the names of the host machines. It can be IP address. Why it can be IP addresses? IP address means the unique identifiers of each connection in between device. Each connections of internet to the device is uniquely identified by IP address. But since those IP addresses are too many, since we can't we can't remember, we map them into names, which the process is what we call DNS. I will do another video for these purposes. Anyways, look in this, for example, in this URL, this is scheme. This is now www.tutorialpoint.com. This is the name is. For example, we can use www.youtube.com, www.facebook.com, www.gmail.com. You can use. This is what the name of the machine which we are accessing the resource from. This is the point. And this www is not actually part of the domain name, although it is often used as a host addresses. File path is there. The last part is file paths. The file path. This means, for example, within the server, which we are accessing the resource from, there can be a lot of resources. A lot of resources can be available from that server. So we have to specify which resource. the names of the resource, specific name. For example, if we have 5 video from the servers, we can access specific one from those 5 is. So file path means what is the names of the specific resource which we want to access in the in what directory or in what folder it is located. Look here, http is http here tilde double slash, it is a scheme. This part is the host address or the host name is here. Look, html and the html.html index.html. Look, index.html is the file which we are searching for, which the files which we are accessing, and it is located in html directory. For example, let's say for this purpose, look, for example, in order to search, okay, look here, for example, http, we can say http or https. Look here, look, this one, http is there. Let me remove the file parties. Look, https is there, youtube.com is there here. This is the names of the server. Here, Jarsos lecture, this is the files. Look now, if there is the internet connection, we can search for the specific files. File path means the paths of that file. Now we are going to access the resource which is located in somewhere within one devices. From that devices, in what directory it is located, what it is name, we have to specify it is file path. As in the same way, for example, in my documents, if for example within the network, take this one as the server, and for example, look here, this is one folders. Look here, okay, for example here, let me look, this is the file path. This is the file path for these files. It is the file path. So within the server, within the host, we have to also specify the file path. This is all what I have for this video. Generalities about URL. URL means a specific name or specific identifiers of the resource on the web. It has general 3 parts. Scheme part, scheme is for protocols, or which the part which specifies how the resource can be retrieved. A lot of protocols are there. And the next part is the host address part, which is to specify the server or the host address or the host name is. And this host address specifies where the resource which we want to access is located. And the last part, which is file path part, is the part which specifies specific resource from that servers. This is all what I have. And if there is any ambiguous concepts, if there is any ambiguity, if there is question, you can raise by writing it down on the comments. And what I want to say again is that if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, to like my video, and to share the video link and the channel link with your friends, since a lot important points are there here. Thank you for your time. Bye.